All right, you ready? You
Yep.
want to do it? You want me to do it? What are we doing? Want me to do it?
I can do it.
Okay. Just count down 3, 2, 1, and
3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to the show.
who are you?
Okay, I got to think of what I'm going to say.
Well, you don't, like you said, you don't do it all the time,
Okay.
so it's not your fault.
This
So you
is
just say
just
3,
talking
2,
out
1, give it a little bit of a break, and then say, "I'm welcome to the
Welcome
show.
to the
I'm
show."
Terry." Right.
Okay. But do I want to say this is talking out loud?
You don't have to. You could say another episode.
Welcome to another episode of
Just Talking Out Loud.
Just Talking Out Loud. Okay. 3, 2. Now I'm going to laugh every time. I'm going to.
That's what makes it fun. That makes it fun.
We'll see how many tries this takes.
Okay.
You might give up on me.
No, I never give up on you. No way.
You're listening to the podcast where we talk about life, sports, family, and everything in between. Welcome to Just Talking Out Loud with your hosts, Ron and Terry.
Welcome to another episode of Just Talking Out Loud. I'm Terry.
And I'm Ron. We thought we'd try something
Different.
new, but Terry's, I think Terry needs a script. I'll get you a script to read.
Yeah, maybe.
You know what I mean? Just to get, not a script, but just kind of an outline. But you did good.
No, it's
Yeah.
okay.
No, you did good. All right, well, that's
Was
the
it
show.
sexy?
Thanks. Yeah, it's always
Was it
sexy.
sexy, baby?
It's always sexy, babe, coming from you. So here we are. I don't know. I'm trying to be prepared for this episode, and I have some stuff, but sometimes it's like when you wait. We were waiting to have the dog picked up, so that all kind of.
Yeah, put us behind.
But I was thinking, now we did get some fan mail. Apparently we asked a question about summer. Are you sad to see summer gone? Or are you excited about fall? And we got this message. I'm sad to see that summer's almost over because they say they love summer and hate winter. They don't mind fall as long as it's not too cold. And I think I could go along with that. I mean, we've had some pretty nice winters, though. It hasn't been too bad.
Yeah.
Winter-wise.
Really, since my mom and dad have been back. The first winter, we didn't get any rain or any snow or bad weather, and Dad watched out the sliding glass door all winter. And
yeah, it hasn't. We haven't had the snow. We it's funny because all those years, we never had an all-wheel drive. We always had a front-wheel drive and sometimes a rear-wheel drive. And now we have all-wheel drive. We don't even hardly get any snow.
yeah,
Maybe that's all we need to do. Stop the snow from coming is buy a vehicle that's a little more reliable
Snowier.
in the snow.
although when I did have the Subaru,
Oh, that's right. We did.
we did have
We
snow,
did.
and we had a so cold that no one else's car started one Christmas. The very first Christmas we were married. My mom and dad didn't have a garage out in Claysville, and we had to go pick them up to take them to Martin and Peggy's because our car was in the garage and it was the only one that started.
Yeah, I forgot about that. You did have the Subaru, and then we had my dad's car early
The all-wheel
on.
drive.
It was all-wheel.
It was positive traction.
Yeah, positive traction. But and then we went a long time without just basic
Yeah.
trying to get through the winter. Question, and this is a question that we can ask our audience. I was thinking about this other day because when I came home, we were like, I think it was Monday or no, it was yesterday. And you're like, you want to go get something to eat? And my question is, and you can text us, you can also use SpeakPipe. When you're kind of like, it's like last minute, what's your go-to restaurant? You know what I mean? Like, what's your go-to? Is it more fast food or is it
Yeah.
for us, we know what ours is.
Yeah.
It's Eden Park.
Yeah. That's, like if we just didn't plan it and we just,
Right. That's the question.
And we just didn't, and we just want like a sandwich or something simple.
Because I will tell you this. We had the loaded or the fries, at
the loaded fries,
at Eden Park. I will tell you that the loaded fries at Napoli's is way better. It's the cheese.
Yeah, they have.
That's probably why I'm feeling the way I do. I'm like, ugh.
Oh, did you have some of them today?
Yeah, they had that and zucchini.
Oh, did they get zucchini?
They had fried zucchini.
Fried zucchini.
And I'll tell you something else you might like, because I didn't have these before. They tried these too, because Diane was just spending the money, because it wasn't our money. But she had...
Whose money was it?
It was Joe. He expenses it. Because it's a group thing, kind of thing.
Okay, so it's like...
So it's a birthday, because it's birthday. Happy birthday, Joe. I know it's belated, but...
Or... Does he kind of build it on team building too, or whatever?
Yeah, it's all about. But anyway, so she got these. I think they're called hot cheese pepper balls, and they're just like fried. Man, are they good?
Were they hot?
They were a little bit
spicy,
but
like real spicy.
Not real hot, but they were good. Napoli's, great place. They should sponsor us as much as we talk about them. Maybe I'll have to.
Well, that is one of our.
That's another go-to because their strombolis are amazing. We need to get this out to Napoli's. If we're in the mood for
stromboli, we go there. But we also, if I'm just in the mood for like wedding soup, that's a place to go too.
Oh, I had wedding soup too. I really overdid it today. The wedding soup was delicious. But what is now something like now for Napoli's for me? That's a little more. We're going to. We're thinking about it. But if it's a last second, hey, let's just go grab something.
Unless we just feel like pizza. Like if I felt like pizza but didn't want to order out, I would go to Napoli's for a stromboli. Or, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but Eaton Park seems to be because it never lets down.
That's if you want a sandwich or a salad, you can just, it's just, yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, it's just
It's not usually so busy that you have to wait for a table. It's not real costly if you weren't planning on spending a lot of money.
Right, if you're looking at a small budget.
We're usually in and out of there.
I got to blow my nose.
Yeah. I mean, there has been times when we're in and out of there within a half an hour, 40 minutes,
Well, that's pleasant. That's nice. I should have done that beforehand.
But, you know what I mean? Most of the time. I mean, every once in a while we get in there and they're busy and you can't get in and out. But they were busy the other day when we were in there, and that guy was hopping. He was doing...
That was just... Yeah, it was all over the place.
He was doing a lot of tables, but we were still in and out of there in probably, 45 minutes?
Oh, easy. Yeah. And even one time it was we were coming home from watching the kids, and we went to Napoli's, and this place was packed. And yet they had the room for us. Mm-hmm. It still could have gone outside if we wanted to. It was, and it's another one that's one of those places where prices are good, food's excellent. So if Napoli's, you'd like to sponsor us, we would
love it.
We'd love that. We would definitely, because we've been there and we like it. So anyway, that was just my question. Like, where is your? If you're thinking burgers, I see. Yeah, I don't know.
I used to like a lot of different places, but over COVID, a lot of people changed their menus and got rid of some things that I liked. Like Applebee's got rid of their fajitas.
You like the fajitas, right? I guess
Texas Road, our TGI Fridays closed down now.
Right.
I mean,
we did go to Texas Roadhouse. That was pretty good.
Yeah. I mean,
but that's one of those ones where you kind of, it's like.
But their menu was a lot smaller too.
Yeah, but
so I see why you don't have as many. You know what I mean? If your favorite thing on the menu is gone now, then that kind of
you don't
burst your bubble.
Unless you go out there and try something different.
Yeah,
because I was going to do something different today, and I just couldn't. I just had to have the stromboli.
Yeah,
it's just too good. It's too good. Anyway, I just thought I'd ask if you have a favorite place.
I have tried a couple different things at Napoli's.
Yeah.
And I liked them. I had some kind of Italian sandwich, and I have had some kind of Alfredo or whatever.
So I've got a bunch of things that we can talk about. I mean, there's just it's kind of a mismatch. Max, I come up with something. Oh, this would be nice to talk about, and then you next day, oh, this is good to talk about. So it just piles up on me. You know what I mean? So we'll start with this one about a wedding. We'll see how you feel about this. A wedding guest is fuming over the bride and groom's bizarre plan for a reception. So,
what's the bizarre
so
plan?
here it is. So, this guest is a good friend of the person that's getting married, and they're just don't understand this whole reception arrangements. So, what they're griping about is the reception idea. So here's how it goes. He and his fiance, the bride and the fiance, have booked a fancy mansion in a very expensive area for the ceremony and dinner. And then the venue, though, doesn't allow music after 9 o'clock. So to save money, actually, they're not having any music at all. So what they're asking you to do as a guest is, well, what they're upset about is there's no socializing and no dancing at the venue.
At the
'Cause
reception.
you can't have.
At the reception.
So what the couple is asking is that you all leave by 9 o'clock and you go to a nightclub that's in another part of the city. And then you use your own expense for the dancing and the drinks. And they said that this club that they're going to is very hard to get into.
And
It's like you have to, it's like they kind of pick and choose who gets in.
Like you don't look up to our standard.
And it has a very stiff cover charge. And it says people just stand in line. And it says it just doesn't, to them, it doesn't feel like.
See, I wouldn't care for that either.
Yeah. A reception at.
I would go to the wedding and I would leave.
Yeah,
Well,
they're not
if they
saying you
had a
have
dinner,
to go.
If it had a dinner afterwards, I'd say, well, I go and have the dinner and leave.
Yeah, they're not saying you have to go. It's just that's their plan. And there's been a lot of weird. That's not
And
the only
see,
story.
that's weird. And I think a lot of people they either put on too much for a wedding anymore. Like in our days, of course, we got married in the 80s. Almost everyone had the reception at a fire hall or a, you know what I mean? Some place that you.
We had our reception at the
American Legion.
American Legion.
But fire halls and American Legions and stuff like that was norms. You know what I mean? And if you wanted to fancy it up, you could get, table settings, like tablecloth and special chairs, or you could pay for extras like that to make it look nicer.
Yeah.
But most people didn't, I don't remember any of the weddings I was in being at a big fancy hotel or, your sister's was it at the George Washington? No, that was your cousin's.
It was at the George Washington. I thought it was the Hilton down there by the Meadows. Wasn't there one down there?
That was
Melissa's, I think. Mary Bess was somewhere.
Someone was at the George Washington Hotel.
I don't remember that one. That had to be a while ago.
I'm thinking
I don't remember going there at all. But they have gotten, the ideas, I guess, I understand saving money, but a lot of people do look, although some people don't dance, but some people look forward to that socializing with, people maybe they haven't seen in a while. But
I wonder what our kids want to do about that.
But why couldn't they just stay?
They said something about keeping it small and lower cost, but I wonder if they want a DJ or something for dancing. I would think they would.
Yeah, I would think you'd want to have, I think so. Think you'd want to have, I don't know. I think weddings just gotten to the point where how much do you want to spend? How much can you spend?
Almost all the ones that Sarah's been in lately have been at a venue that's very expensive and,
Yeah.
and all the brides or their bridesmaids or their sisters of the bride or whatever have, they make such a big day of it, a big deal of it being the wedding party's big day that everything has to be perfect. And it's she's like, yeah, I realize it's your day, but really, do you have to spend, $100,000 on this day? It's only 4 or 5 hours. And yeah, you want your day to be special, but I can't see mortgaging down to my underwear for it,
Yeah. What do you,
if the parents of both parties are both willing to put money in, then you can spend more.
Yeah.
But if you don't
Still
want
put a budget on it,
like
though.
if you've been out of the house for a while and don't want to ask your parents for money, then
Why put more added stress if you want to buy a house or,
put it into a honeymoon or whatever.
Well,
whatever that
too.
might be.
Yeah.
But
the more money you save, the better you can do the other things that I think it's the wedding day is important. I understand that, but it doesn't have to
it's
be
your special day.
And it ends just like that. It's like snap of fingers. It's over. And
I remember ours. We just had ours at the little church, and then we were at the American Legion, and my nieces and all their cousins were there, and we just had a good time at our own.
Yeah, I don't think it has to be fancy to have a good time.
It wasn't real fancy.
No, well, we weren't fancy. I mean, we decorated.
We did
up,
have a nice cater, and the food was good.
Food was Danny's great.
Yeah,
great food.
we did have a good cater, and the food was really good.
And the DJ was excellent.
And we didn't plan on having any alcohol because of my family situation. And then your uncle
we had some, but it was very limited.
But he kind of paid attention to who was having too much. If they came up too many times, like you're cut off.
So yeah, I mean, I again, it's your day. You do whatever, but I think going to a club afterwards. I mean, this is a lot of people.
Well, and the thing
really
about
weird
it is,
things,
if you went to a
different
club
things.
afterwards and only part of your wedding party can get in. Oh, what if
they might be
what if
stuck
one
outside.
of the bouncers or one of the people that let you in doesn't like one of your friends?
Right.
Like they are never going to let them in.
Right.
So then that friend has to stand outside. That's like,
yeah, I'm not waiting to get in. You know me. I'm not going.
oh, you wouldn't
I'm
wait.
going home.
You wouldn't wait in line anyhow.
No,
so.
not doing it. But I'll see the wedding.
Yeah, I think that's kind of strange. I think they should have at least had some music to have the bridal dance and stuff.
There had to be
at the venue. I mean, they were allowed to have it until 9:00. So just have an earlier wedding and have your music end at 9.
Yeah,
and then
that's true.
say everyone's allowed to stay around and socialize for
talk.
another.
I was going to say the same
but
thing.
we want to be out of here by 11 or something.
It
like
doesn't
that.
say it's closed. It just says after 9 they don't want any music. So you just still could just sit around and.
I mean, you could like then you wouldn't like how a lot of times the bride and groom goes from table to table to greet everyone that's there. You wouldn't have to do that till 9:00.
And you don't have to scream at them because you can't hear them.
Right, because
Over the
everyone
music.
would be just talking around their tables and stuff.
Exactly. A normal,
Yeah.
not screaming, you can't hear because the music's blaring. And
Yeah.
I don't know. Just thought I'd throw that out there, see what you thought of that idea. And next topic after wedding is if you'd like to keep an argument from escalating, I have a rule that seems to work.
Oh, I'd like to hear that one.
So, sometimes
You just disagree with someone.
small disagreements you have, it's frustrating. You have small disagreements, and then it sometimes blows up into a major, blow up.
Oh, yeah.
Where something small becomes
Oh, yeah. And that can be every time you talk to certain people.
emotions run high, you get carried away. So now research, according to this, has figured out a way to keep that from happening.
Okay.
And all it takes, very simple. What would you think? Let's put this, I'll give you the chance to see what you think this research figured out. In other words, let's say, we're having a little bit of an argument, and what would you do to try and de-escalate the situation from it blowing up? Because it's just common sense.
I would
think,
walk
right?
away.
It says it's a 5-second break. That's all it takes. Psychologists at St. Andrews in the UK have found that when couples have an argument and they pause for 5 seconds, it can diffuse the situation. So they did this study with 81 couples.
How about with family when you're disagreeing about where mom should be or where dad should be or whose turn it is to do what,
That's probably not a 5-second rule. That's more of a 2-3 week, maybe a month. Their study involved 81 couples, and they found that the brief pause is enough to keep lower level conflicts from escalating into a big fight. It turns out 5 seconds is just as effective as taking a 10 or 15 second break. Because I was thinking, is that not long enough? So if we were to count, so let's say we're
1001,
arguing.
1002, 1003, 1004, 1005.
Now, is that
you
enough?
are calmer by
Is
the
that
time you say
enough time
1005.
Go, okay. All right, now listen here. What were we talking about? Yeah, that kind of thing. So
If you're thinking about punishment for the kids and you're not on
Yeah.
the same wavelength,
yeah,
one thinks he needs really punished and the other one says, oh, it's not that bad of a
and I think it's important.
Situation,
Now,
you
I'll
know.
ask you this. You brought up a great point, and let's run with this as a parent. If you're a parent and let's say you and I are a little bit different ideas of what the argument, I mean, we're battling each other. I think you need to take that instead of fighting in front of that person and say, listen, we'll come back to you in a second. Get away from the child. Like, hey, you just sit here.
we're going to go
We need
figure
to
this
discuss
out.
to figure out a middle ground for us. Because if you're on different,
I say, you're grounded for a month.
and
And
I'm
you
like,
say, it's
2
only-"
weeks.
Yeah, or you say, 1 day is good because he learned his lesson.
Don't you think that if you're having you don't want to show, I mean, obviously you're going to have conflict in front of the kids. That's going to happen, whether you want it to or not. But
I
if you
know
can
some
keep
people
it,
cover it up
if
really
you can
well.
cover it up, yeah, that's true. If you can, although that is that being real in front of the kids, because there are going to
I
be
guess-
arguments. There is going to be,
I guess it's not.
because what are we showing our kids? I was just saying, my thought was, if especially when it comes to discipline, because you don't want the kid to say, well, if I work on this parent, I can get,
This, yeah.
they're a little more lenient than that. You know what I'm saying? That's just, I don't know. We've always tried to parent, listen, no one's perfect. No, let's get that out there.
We're
We're not perfect parents. We're just not.
There's not a perfect parent out there, and so no matter what your parent did to you, who knows what kind of parenting they had?
Yeah, it goes back to absolutely. And sometimes they change that. That changes too. as you
And
get
they were
older.
trying to do better than theirs did, and
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there are some parents that are just bad people in general and just are not good. Well, shouldn't have had kids.
Maybe.
But
It's possible.
but in the most for the most
We do the
part,
best
as
you can under the circumstances, and we do sometimes fall back on things you don't want to be. Some will say, I don't want to be my parents, or I don't want. I was blessed. I had great parents that knew when to discipline and how to discipline. I mean, I knew what I could.
Who did most of the disciplining in your family when you were growing up?
I didn't. It was mom, but because we were afraid of dad. You know what I mean? And when I say afraid, I don't mean afraid.
You were
wasn't
but
afraid. It was just we knew when he was angry
that he might
that it was going to be like it was.
it would have been
Ooh, you know what I mean?
yeah.
And sometimes I feel like
That's how I was. I grew up afraid of my dad, especially in his drinking years. I was literally afraid of my dad. If he had been drinking a lot, I would go to I would stay out of sight, out of mind. But what I found out, the more he drank, he wasn't mean when he wasn't a mean drunk. He would sit down and cry. The few times I remember him really getting that bad, he would sit down and cry. I don't know why I did that to your mother. And he'd cry and cry, and he would want held, and he was like you know what I mean? He was different. But when he first started, especially if it was out of anger, we all just kind of disappeared.
well, I don't want to. You don't want to be afraid of your dad because that sounds like you're. But you want to know that when it's time for discipline, that person. Because I think today.
Because my dad was not spanked, he was beat.
Yeah, he was.
And when
right.
he got mad, like even if it was two kids fighting, he just hauled off and started swinging at you.
Didn't matter who he hit.
No, he thought you guys want each other. Here, I'll give a piece of it to both of you. And he would just, and so he was, and I feel like that's the way he was dealt with,
Yeah.
and that's why he left home at a very young age, because at 15 he was bigger than his father, and he said, if I go home and he tries to beat me, he was afraid that it would be one heck of a fight.
Yeah, I just.
So he didn't go home.
I just feel like, I don't know. Today, it just seems like kids don't see authority.
Yeah.
Does that seem like, am I saying that right?
Yeah, they
It
don't
just
see
seems
their
like-
parents as an authoritative at all.
Yeah, just you sometimes you'll hear the way they talk, and I realize this, Tina, we've had it too, how they talk to you and stuff like that. But I just feel like there's something, because obviously you don't want to beat your kids, but there's got to be a discipline at some point to teach kids.
And I still don't think spanking is wrong. I
don't either, but
I don't, like you said, count to 5. But if push comes to shove and they were deliberate and they were, then, and you still think they need a spanking for it, then I'm not against that.
yeah, that's
But on the butt in the right way. I mean, especially when they're younger, because then they get the idea that there are certain things that will not be tolerated.
well, I think too, because you got to see it firsthand when Fen was giving you some issues. And
Yeah, the other day.
how Lauren, and I thought the way you described what she did was really well. I mean, she really stuck to her guns
And she made
and
him
did it.
behave,
And he, he sat in that corner because, she said and he did come out and apologize to you.
and he apologized.
So there
to her.
is a way to do it. And I thought, and the way you described, I wasn't there, but the way you described, you were like, okay, this is, she, when it comes down to
The
it,
push to come
she's
to
going to
shove,
make
she's
sure
gonna-
they
yeah.
understand that
And you have to do that when they're young.
Yeah.
Because if you don't take
you
charge
don't want
of
to be a
that
pushover.
when they're 14, 16 years old and they're bigger than you, then they're going to have no respect for you at all.
Exactly. I just,
Even though you have more things to have consequence when they get older, you have to actually follow through and take those things away from them, or they're not going to listen to you.
and it's tough. Listen, there are parents, there's single parents out there who are trying to work 2 jobs, and you come home and, you just,
Then you have to
You're
deal
up-
with a kid that got
or-
in
and then
trouble
there's-
while you were gone.
and then there's also parents that are working, both parents are working multiple jobs. Let's face it, it's not
economy
easy.
is not good
Economy's
right now.
not great.
And
Everything
kids
is high.
And kids expect everything, and I think parents think they have to give them everything.
Oh, do I have that story?
Working at the school, I was like shocked at how many kids have a more expensive phone and a newer phone than I do. I just cannot believe that parents will work to
I
pay
do.
for that.
Okay,
you know what
I got
mean?
it. You just hit on something. Let's do
Okay.
this. Let's take a break. We'll come back with what you just said,
Okay.
the phone and stuff. I had this story. This is funny how it kind of works out sometimes. So we come back. We'll talk about this teen that went on a hunger strike. That's coming up next. So you want to start a podcast. Maybe you're listening to the show today and you're thinking to yourself, boy, that would be fun. And I have a lot of things I want to talk about. Maybe today is the day. Maybe you're looking for a new marketing channel, or you have a message that you'd like to share with the world, or you just think it would be fun to have a talk show. And it is a lot of fun just talking to your friends. Maybe you have ideas about sports, life, or whatever your passion is. Today's the day. Podcasting is easy, it's inexpensive, and it's a fun way to expand your reach online. And where should you go? Buzzsprout. It's hands down the easiest, and it's the best way to launch, promote, and track your podcast. And your show, believe it or not, can be online and listed in all the major podcast directories in minutes, like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcast, and you wouldn't believe how many more there are. And they make it simple to join all of them. Podcasting is not hard when you have the right partners, and Buzzsprout is the team to join. They are passionate about your success. You can join over 1,000 podcasters already using Buzzsprout. We're one of them. We've been on Buzzsprout from the beginning, and I'm so glad I joined up. I had a little bit of an issue, emailed a customer service rep, and they got back to me within 5 minutes, and they had me calm down. It wasn't that hard, and what I was doing was my fault. So here's all you got to do. Click on the link in the show notes. It tells Buzzsprout we sent you. You can support our show, and if you get a paid plan, you get a $20 gift certificate from Amazon. Now, here's some other things that Buzzsprout provides. Like, you get a great-looking podcast website. Now, a lot of people think, oh, I got to get a website, got to pay for that. No, you don't. They provide it for you. Also, they have audio players. Maybe you have a website, and all you want to do is promote your show on your own website. You can do that with their audio players, and you can also drop it into other websites and on Facebook or Twitter, and they help you do it all. Believe me, Buzzsprout is the way to go. They've helped me immensely, and I've had a lot of fun doing it. So maybe today is a day for you to start your podcast. And if you do, check out the link below in the show notes and get a $20 Amazon gift card. So Terry had hit on, and it was...
there was kids in 6th grade that had nicer, newer phones than I have, which I refuse to pay $1,000 for a phone. I refuse.
I know your phone is awful. It's bad.
But I just refuse because it's not like I use it as a computer. I don't do my banking on it anymore.
No, you just play your games.
I have a few card games.
Yeah.
I don't have very many games.
No.
I do check Facebook every once in a while, and especially every time there's a tropical storm down south. I check to see if my cousins have checked in and, know that everyone's okay down there. And I do look up people. Like when I was going to Michigan, I looked up one of my friends from, up there, and I did get to meet her while I was up there. But I did see she posted something because I was on there the other day, but I didn't even get to comment on it, and maybe I'll go back to it. But I don't post on there very rarely. I did when Beckett was born was the last time, and he's almost a year old now. But I have used it in Facebook and Facebook Messenger and stuff like that to locate people when I'm going into where I used to live and stuff.
Yeah, so this boy in India, so this happened in India, but I'm sure
it could happen.
Probably
here.
happens here too. He's a teenager, and he was being accused of emotional blackmail. He went on a 3-day hunger strike in an attempt to pressure his mom into buying him an iPhone, and we just said how expensive an iPhone is. The boy can be seen with his thoroughly depressed-looking mother being interviewed by a gentleman who owns the store where the iPhone was eventually purchased. In the interview, the mother says she sells flowers for a living, but caved in after her son refused to eat. Now she says she's happy he has the phone, but expects him to earn the money the phone cost and pay it back. And this article says, good luck on that one, Mom. So
I think I would have said, okay, when he started the
hunger strike. If he's a teenager, he can work in small jobs.
3 days into the hunger strike, I would have said, okay, if you want to be hungry,
right?
You have to show me you're going to earn it. You go get a job.
You all right over there?
And I'll help you. I'll help you with what I can, but I'm not giving you $1,000 for a phone.
Yeah, there's got to be a middle ground.
And what are you going to do? Charge it? Like, I just don't believe in living way above your income. I don't believe in living, and I know, I'm like, what if they've got 4 or 5 kids and they all have an iPhone? Right there would be a bill that we could have never afforded.
They got phones, but they also work by that time. Now it is, see, here's the other.
And our older 2 didn't get them till Nathan hurt his knee, 9th grade.
I think the thing is now, and it's sad to say, but I think with parents, and we just talked about parents having to work, you want to have the kids to have access if something's wrong. You want to be able to communicate.
Well, what's wrong with a track phone?
Well, no, I'm not saying it can't be a track phone or so. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But that ain't going to get over on, they're not going to have a track phone.
I know.
With their friends, or just hide it, But I'm talking about younger kids. I'm not, when they wait.
And what age would be good, do you think?
Yeah, when does it start?
A phone.
That's a good, what age is a good age for a phone?
Like your godson already has one.
Yeah, he's going to be, he has a
10 or 11.
10 or 11. Yeah. I don't know.
Now Zachary got one earlier.
Yeah.
He got one in middle school, but he didn't take it to school, but he got it from different circumstances.
Right.
There was a circumstance involved, and that I wanted him to always feel safe. and I gave him the phone to take when he went with people so that he would always feel safe. But there was, a reason behind it.
Well, I think that's the other thing. School, I don't know.
And the first two got them. Did they already have them? They might already had them in 9th and 11th grade.
We got phones. We all got phones.
When
I had got my first phone.
Maybe RJ was in 9th grade.
He was going to college. He was going to Art Institute. And we had gone and got, because I had a little flip phone. I wasn't going to get one. I didn't want one. That's how I ended up getting that job. They called my cell phone, which I haven't even given out the number. It's a really weird story, but that's how I ended up getting Fairmont job. But we had all gone to get phones. I know RJ was one. I don't know if Zachary got one. I know you and
Zachary didn't have one the first round. But I know in 9th, when Nathan was in 9th grade and hurt his knee.
It might have been before that.
We had phones because I know that's how they would tell me. It had to be before that. Because I had started working at the school district and they got a little runabout car and RJ could drop him off at therapy after school. And then he would say, I'm done, and I would pick him up afterwards.
I think it was before that. But anyway.
It was before phones. That. But you know what? I think the first time was when Nathan was coaching or was refereeing down there.
Can you keep your bugs over there?
For soccer, and he paid his $9.99 a month out of his
Well,
soccer.
I mean, they worked.
They did.
They worked and paid.
And
it was cheap back then.
And we had
phones didn't cost. You paid for the plan. You didn't pay for the phone.
They also worked for Talkies. They did time at Talkies, and
they time. It's like that was their.
They worked and paid for their line.
All right, I got some things that don't belong in the bedroom, according to a pro organizer.
Food.
So when it comes to cleaning the house, the bedrooms often get neglected. We tidy up and clear clutter from other spaces. We hang out all the time in the living room, dining room, stuff like that. Even the kitchen. Maybe even a family room.
My dresser's always piled high with crap.
And then we shove excess items into the bedroom, which we probably do. Sometimes the closet. Don't open that closet if you don't want to get killed. So they're talking about organizing. According to Tina Horan and Nancy, is it Yorks? I think that's how you say her last name. Or Yorkies. They have this organization service, Uncluttered Spaces, things that don't belong in the bedroom. So here are some things that do not belong in the bedroom. Exercise equipment. And home workouts are popular. But if you have it in the bedroom, it actually creates more clutter and you can feel less relaxed. They say to move into a space designed, if you have the space to do that. Yeah, it's easier said than done. Yeah. So your bedroom feels more spacious. What happens too is the exercise equipment becomes just kind of like a closet. You just hang your clothes over. Because you just...
I've seen a lot of that.
Yeah. Mismatched socks.
They don't belong in the bedroom?
It says it might seem like a small thing, but that graveyard of socks without a mate takes up a lot of valuable drawer space.
I know
people
who wear them that way.
Yeah, I know. Well, today they do wear them that way. The pros say it's time to let the misfit socks go and reclaim that space. I know I have a couple socks in there that don't.
I know people that just wear them mismatched now. They don't even care if they match.
I know. Other things that don't belong in your bedroom. Old clothes. Terry's trying, but she replaces. Like she'll get rid of 4 outfits and bring in 5. No, I'm just kidding.
I do. Yeah, I did. I bought sweatshirts last year, and then
it says if your closet's full of clothing that doesn't fit, I mean that's different. You don't wear it anymore. Just what's the thing? They say you put all your clothes on like a hanger facing the same way, and then after you wear it, you turn it. Right. So then when you go to your closet, you're like, after a year, you're like, oh, I've never wore that. That was been a year. You know what I mean? Like you wait.
But like right now, what I should do is go through like dress slacks. The few pair that were my favorite pairs that I wore to work a lot, I probably should just put in the attic. I know I haven't worn them in the last year because I haven't worn any dress slacks to church. That's the only place I would wear. I either wear jeans or a dress, it seems like.
But aren't we just putting more stuff somewhere else instead of just getting rid of it?
But if I went back to work,
You're not going back to work.
3 or 4 years from now, if I don't have any more grandkids and wanted to go get a job at a department store just part-time, just for something to do.
So you can buy more clothes.
Yeah, so I can buy more clothes. Well, then I might get those out and wear them. So I don't know what to do with that kind of stuff.
Other things that don't belong in the bedroom: bills, mail, and other papers. Piles of mail, documents. It's a lot of clutter. So find a place to put your bills. A designated drawer, maybe a basket, so it's nice and tidy. Some other things, which this one doesn't make sense to me: mismatched hangers. First of all, it says there's a no. There are these are no-nos because they make your closet look messy. Well, first of all, I'm the only one looking in my closet. So what makes a difference whether I have mismatched hangers?
Our hangers, some of them are plastic, some of them have that cloth on them. I don't.
It says because having a set of sturdy matching hangers creates a more visually satisfying closet.
I don't give a crap.
I don't really give a crap whether it's mismatched or not. As long as it doesn't give me shirt nipples.
Same 4 or 5 outfits that you wear all the time. Don't you have the same 4 or 5 summer shirts that you wear more than everything else?
I'm to the point now where if I could, I'd just wear the same thing every week. Tired of thinking, did I wear this last week? So it used to be I'd take the clothes from the right side, and whenever I wore them, I'd take them and put them on the left side. So everything would move down. So I would take it from the left.
Oh, and that way you're not wearing the same things.
So then I'm not doubling up. But guess what?
You've got 30 polo shirts and you keep wearing the same 4.
I keep doing the same. I'll put them back. You'll wash them. And I'm just like, hell, I'll just wear that. Who cares if I... I just want to get the same. If they had a polo shirt with the name on it, I'll just wear 5 of those. Who cares? I don't care anymore. I really don't. But as far as mismatched hangers, who cares? I mean, seriously, they're not. If you're looking in my closet, you shouldn't be in there anyway. It's me and you. I mean, if there's a stranger looking in my closet, and go, oh my God, look at this guy's closet. And the thing I worry about is shirt nipples. I don't like my shirt nipples.
Well, and that's what I was going to say. We hang and we dry things on hangers some.
Yeah, and they get, you have to get the old shirt nipples sticking out.
You have to watch which ones you put them on, yeah.
Some other things that don't belong in the bedroom: dishes.
Well, that's what I said.
Snacks.
Food.
You said food, so you're right. It stacks up in there.
What
are you eating in there?
If you're eating toast or something that's crummy and you don't want crumbs in your bed, I mean, we got gnats in there already now. We don't need bugs in there.
Yeah, we're still dealing with gnats. Extra bedding. The pros say all you need are 2 sets of bedding. More than that takes up too much space.
Which is true. We've got 2 things up in top of the closet.
Well, yeah, but they're not. Yeah, but
But we have flannel ones that we use in the winter, and then we have regular ones that we use
in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right now there's a summer
silky ones.
Right now the summer sheets are on there.
The rubber sheets.
Rubber sheets.
And then finally, empty boxes and storage containers. We had for a while there, but Terry took them today. Some stuff that had to go
to the mission.
And although there's still some stuff back there, what's all the other stuff? That pots and pans and stuff.
I was going to see if Janet wanted to put that in their attic for
if he gets a house.
Sam, because he's looking at houses.
Remember we talked about peanut butter and jelly? I'm going to go right off subject. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So we talked about peanut butter and jelly, and I was saying crust on or crust off.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask them to text us. Crust on.
I don't mind a
crust off. Yeah, I don't care. Crust on or crust off. If parents are packing lunch, of course, kids are back to school. Many of them are packing, peanut butter and jelly. I do love a good peanut butter and jelly. I like peanut butter and banana, but if the bananas are too ripe, then I have to go peanut butter and jelly. But when you're eating peanut butter and jelly, do you prefer crust on or off? And adults say, what do you think?
Crust
Adults, on or off?
Off.
60% say they leave the crust on.
Well, we both said on.
And 15% said crust off. And I always love the ones that say, don't know.
Don't care.
Don't care. One person said, I never eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. That's 20%. And then this was funny because what kind of monsters are these people? Because they don't even eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. But yeah, that's crust. I don't care. When you're hungry, I'm not peeling the crust off. Now, if the crust is a little crunchy and I might eat around it. But I noticed Fenn, he's eating the whole thing now. He's doing really good. And we'll wrap it up with some things that you say when someone knocks on the bathroom door. Now, I have a lot of issues because Fenn likes to not, he wants to know where I'm at, and so he walks
when you
in
disappear,
the bathroom. He wants to know where I'm at all times. So when someone knocks on the bathroom door, here's some things that you can say. This was shared on the internet. So someone knocks on the door and say, "What are you doing in there?" And you say, "Come back with a warrant." So you're in the bathroom. Although as you get married, used to be when you first married, you kind of close the door. You're kind of shy. You don't want them to hear you fart. And then as you get older and you're married for like 10 years, doors wide open, on the way to the bathroom, you're tooting and farting and burping and making, and listen to this one. Hey, honey, bring the camera. Then there's, come on in. I could use some help. That's some things you could do while you're in the bathroom. Some other things you could say when someone knocks on the bathroom door. Just finishing up the paperwork. That's a good one. I like that one. The paperwork. Unless you have a bidet. And just watering down. Another one is, just a second, let me scoot over. That's a double toilet. So it's just some of the things you can say when someone's knocking on the bathroom. And how many
doesn't knock, he just opens the door.
How many people pick their nose while they're driving? You have any idea?
Lots, because I scratch. My nose seems to itch a lot when I'm driving. Either my hair's in my face or my,
A third of people actually pick their nose while they're driving. So just wanted to let you know, because I thought that's very... My grandfather used to love to
sitting
watch.
on the porch watching
because
how
he
many
couldn't
people
see
pick
him
their nose.
because the way he was angled. And
they couldn't see him.
He said, "Oh, they're knuckle deep on that one." That must be a deep one. They're knuckle deep. You want to finish up with these are jobs that are obsolete from the past. These are really, I saw this. This is really wild. These are actual jobs from way back when. The website Metal Floss came up with a list of obsolete jobs from way back when, and some of these are downright scary. For instance, the first job that is obsolete is poison squad member. So what this was, volunteers, these are volunteers and you get paid. Volunteers ingested meals that were laced with contaminants to help establish safe food levels of food additives. That was back in the 1900s. So they would add all this crap, and let me know how you feel.
All the processing that they did to they tried it first to see if they died from it.
Right. Don't add that. Then it's bad for you.
Yeah, I'm throwing up.
Other jobs that are obsolete, the barber surgeon. Barbers also performed medical surgeries in the Middle Ages. Can you imagine that, going to your barber?
Barbers did.
Yeah. Maybe having your appendix out. Think he used the scissors? I doubt it, right? He probably had other tools.
Who knows?
What do you have? Some other obsolete jobs, leech collector, a leech. They gathered leeches for medical purposes, and they allowed them to latch onto their skin to find out, if they would help get rid of whatever you had. So there's a leech collector. This is my favorite one by far, and I think... who knows? You might want to do this job back in the day. Groom of the stool. It's a royal bathroom attendant responsible for assisting kings, notably in the 1500s to the 1700s. Get it? Groom to the stool.
They had
and I ain't talking about moving
They had to hold the robes while he was going.
Or they had to wipe the stool after they were done. Remember the kids would say, "I need wiped." I'm done. Come wipe me. And finally, sin eater. They consumed food and drink at funerals to absorb the deceased's sins. This happened in the 18th and 19th centuries. So if you thought this person that passed away
Was very
had
sinful.
some, they would eat all the sins up.
If you thought he was a
Wonder
killer.
what you would eat for that. What kind of food?
I don't know.
Black licorice? It's like, it would have to be like bad food, wouldn't it?
I don't know. Maybe it was liver and onions.
Ooh, liver, that could be. Yeah, that's true. All right. That's pretty good. We got a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff still. I mean, there's a woman that got charged for a birthday cake that she brought to a restaurant. We could have talked about that one. We could talk about bacon and how good it is. It's a super food. Maybe we'll save that for the next one. What do you think?
I need that one. Yeah.
The bacon.
You know, I love my
Give
bacon.
people
It's
something
a
to look forward to.
superfood now.
This person says this thing, bacon can do all kinds. Well, you want me to just tell you?
No,
We'll
save it for next time. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a superfood, bacon.
Okay.
Because the aroma
I like
itself.
to hear that. I'm going to start baking.
All right, so we'll
I'm
leave that
starting
for
to
next
cook
time.
it every morning.
Hey, thanks so much for listening. Don't forget to subscribe. Tell your friends. Every Monday we have a new episode. We're in season 4 already, and we're hoping for a big one. We wanted to really come out with a bang with our what are those called, MREs?
Yeah.
Which they're still here. They'll last forever. And we're going to be doing that one. And but yeah, every Monday we have a new episode. You can also follow us on Facebook or X at Just Talking, TALKIN out loud. And you can also text us. If there's something on the show you wanted to, maybe add to the conversation, we'll talk about it.
Crust on or crust off.
Yeah, crust on, crust off. Go-to restaurants.
Go-to restaurants.
What's a go-to? What's your go-to food? Mm-hmm. Some people have go-to food, go-to snacks, whatever. Also, speakpipe. You can, but no one wants to hear their voice, I guess, on the air. But we'd love to hear from you one way or the other. So thanks so much for listening. We are out.
Have a great week.
Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed today's show.